Hi, I'm Chief Musician Adam Crowe. I'm a tuba player with the U.S. Coast Guard Band, and today I'm going to talk to you about warm-ups, what I do, and maybe give you a few examples of what you can include in your own warm-ups. When I warm up, my goal is to get ready to make music, whether it's for a band rehearsal or a personal practice session that I'm doing. I use it to get focused, to bring myself into the mood to make music. The warm-up doesn't have to be long and complicated, but there are some basic elements that I like to include in any warm-up that I do. The first element is focus and breathing. And I put those together because I use breathing to kind of bring focus to what I'm doing and get in the right mindset for music. I check my posture, I sit up straight, and then I take a few breaths. I breathe with my ribs, make sure my stomach is relaxed, make sure my shoulders are relaxed. Some people like to raise the shoulders. They're going to move some, but don't make it unnatural. Those breaths remind me what a good big breath feels like. As you guys probably know, it takes a lot of air to play the tuba. And the air that it takes it's more similar to the air we use when we're doing athletics or working out than it is to the air we use when we're just talking or going about our day. So now that I'm focused, I've done some breathing, I like to get my mouthpiece and I do a quick buzz. And I take that good breath that I reminded myself of and I buzz something just in the middle register. And I like to get a nice buzzy sound with good energy in it, like this. I'm not worried about being in tune or playing right notes. What I'm worried about is getting a good buzz that's going to translate to a good, healthy sound on the instrument. I don't buzz too much, just enough to get the buzz going, get my ears working a little bit, and I'll put the mouthpiece into the instrument. And the next step for me, I remind myself what good posture is. These are large instruments. Even the smallest tuba is considered large by anyone's standard. And so what we want to do is to sit up straight, and we want to bring the tuba to us. For some people, that means they can sit the tuba on their chair. For other people, they can use their lap. Some people like to use a stand when they play. It's a special instrument stand. It's a tripod. It sits on the floor. I use that with large tubas like this often so that I can focus on making music and not worry about my tuba slipping off my lap. Next step for me is long tones. When I go to the horn, I like to play tones in middle register or low register about a mezzo forte dynamic. And I'm still remembering my air, my posture, and my good buzz. I make sure to fill up with air, and I play until I'm almost empty. I make sure to go almost all the way down. And I say almost because when we empty too far, we start to get shaky, and the tone gets smaller and shakier. So that's something we want to avoid. I like to vary my long tones too. Instead of just keeping them static, I'll add a dynamic element to it. So I'll start soft, crescendo, and then get soft again. Once I've played some long tones, I'll move on to some flexibility. Now with brass instruments, with valves or slides, we can play a lot of different notes with the same fingering. being able to control the different partials or harmonics and move between them so that we can make music is pretty important as a brass player. And so I like to work on flexibility in my warm-up a little bit. I'll give you two examples. There's an easier one and then a more advanced one. The key here is to follow the fingerings. I'll start with an open fingering, and then I'll add second valve, then I'll add first valve, and then 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3 or 4 if you have 4 valves. The key is to follow a pattern. And just go all the way down to 1, 2, 3. And back up. And a more advanced version of a flexibility exercise is this. And it follows the same pattern through the valve series. Second valve. Once I've done some flexibility, at the end of my warm-up, I like to play some scales. And I use scales to cover from the low register up through the high register. For you guys, I recommend starting with 1 octave and add notes as you can. Here's an example of the B flat major scale. And that one I added 2 more notes on top. If it feels good for you to play higher, do so. Make it a goal to have it a 2 octave scale. I don't only slur the scales like that. I'll also do some variations on it. I'll play the notes connected but tongued. Here's an example. Or I'll work on staccato with my scales. Work on all 12 major scales, 2 octaves, and if you feel comfortable, move on to modes or add a 3rd octave. The sky is the limit. I hope I've given you guys some ideas for your own warm-ups and maybe provided some good examples for you to work with. A warm-up is going to be different depending on the day and depending on where you are in your musical journey. But it's important that they have those basic elements. Breathing, buzzing, long tones, a little bit of flexibility, and some articulation, okay? If you incorporate that into your warm-up every time you play, I guarantee you'll be a better brass player. Thanks, and take care.